All right, welcome back to Hannity. A whistleblower has now come forward to allege that the CIA intervened to prevent Hunter Biden's sugar brother. Remember, we've told you all about him? That's the L.A. attorney, Kevin Morris, who gave Hunter all that money. They prevented him from being interviewed during the investigation into Hunter's taxes. Now, Chairman Jim Jordan and James Comer, they have launched an investigation, writing to the CIA director, quote, two DOJ officials allegedly summoned to CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, for a briefing regarding Mr. Morris. At that meeting, it was communicated that Mr. Morris could not be a witness during the investigation. All right, here with more on this mystery is House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. Okay, this makes no sense to me. Is he working for the CIA?
We don't know if he's an asset. We don't know if he's regularly talking with someone who is being surveilled, maybe under the 702 program in the FISA statute. We just don't know, but we'd like to know because, again, this is not just anybody. This is Kevin Morris, as you said, Sean, the guy who has loaned and or bought millions of dollars for Hunter Biden. Loaned him like $6 million, bought like, I think, $1 million in artwork, artwork from Hunter Biden. So we'd kind of like to know what's going on here. And this all happened before the sweetheart deal was taken to the court in last summer. You know, the sweetheart deal that was laughed out of court. And then, of course, the DOJ says, oh, the guy who put the sweetheart deal together, who takes it to court, gets laughed out of court, that's the guy we're going to make special counsel. There are so many things wrong with this investigation that we think, frankly, the American people deserve answers to. And that's why Chairman Comer and I have sent the letter finding out, why couldn't they talk to the guy?
All right, so this is what we've had. In 2016, we had the FBI involved in helping Hillary, followed up by the absolute abuse of a FISA warrant. Even James Comey, who signed 3 of the 4 warrants, said, knowing what I know now, I would not have signed them. A little too late. No reasonable prosecutor would prosecute. That other big moment. Then we had in 2020, we had the FBI meeting weekly with Big Tech, telling Big Tech they're likely going to be victims of a misinformation campaign, and it's probably going to be about Joe or Hunter Biden, after they had fully vetted and verified the authenticity of Hunter's very real laptop. They knew that Rudy Giuliani's lawyer, Bob Costello, had a copy. They knew it was going to leak. Then when they finally leaked it, then they went to the FBI and said, is this what you were warning us about, or is this a legitimate story? The FBI wouldn't tell them the truth. On top of the fact, you had the 51 intel agents. So, judge me whichever way you want, but call me one of the suspicious people. I don't trust what's going on here. Something doesn't smell right, Jim Jordan.
No, it sure doesn't. And, I think the biggest thing in that whole list of things that they've done in the past several presidential elections, the big one was that 51 former intel officials who signed that letter. Because remember, that actually started when we deposed people. That started with the campaign. It was Antony Blinken who called up Mike Morrell, who wanted to be CIA director in a Biden administration, and asked him about this whole issue. Mike Morrell goes to work, puts together the statement that says this has all the earmarks of a Russian information operation. These guys sign it. They use it in the last debate. And then when the debate's over, Steve Ricchetti, running the campaign for Joe Biden, calls up Mike Morrell and thanks him for the statement. It worked exactly like they planned, and I think that was the big election interference in the 2020 campaign, keeping that valuable information from we the people right before the most important election we have, the presidential election. So, all this comes along, and now we hear about this. So many strange things. We just want the facts. We want the truth, and we'd like the Justice Department, the FBI, to just stay out of the election and let we the people decide who we want to be president of our great country.
So we have all these shell corporations. You have not identified any specific work or performance or actions for the millions and millions of dollars that this family has, even the grandchildren. What services did they perform? What did Hunter perform? Then Joe on tape bragging he leveraged $1 million taxpayer dollars, got a prosecutor in Ukraine fired. Hunter admits he has no experience in energy, oil, gas, or Ukraine. He didn't have experience for the CEFC, China's oil conglomerate. He says he was either high or drunk when he sent the WhatsApp message, but it seemed pretty coherent to me for a guy that was out of his, quote, mind. All of this information is out there, and people say, well, where's the evidence?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what part of this smells right to you? Because it's all pretty obvious.
Yeah,
Tony Bobulinski was pretty clear yesterday.
He sure was. He did a fine job. So did Jason Galanis. Yeah, millions of dollars from foreign entities run through like 20 different companies. For what? Jim Biden and Hunter Biden weren't getting paid for their business acumen because they if you look at it, they owe all kinds of people all kinds of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it wasn't for their business. What were they getting paid for? Hunter Biden's business partner told us. It was for access to the brand. The brand was Joe Biden, and the brand played golf, took phone calls, took meetings, went to lunches, went to dinners with Hunter Biden and his business associates, and influenced the business. That, I think, came out loudly and clearly yesterday in the hearing from both Mr. Bobulinski and Mr. Galanis.
And enough evidence that proves candidate Joe Biden and President Joe Biden lied through his teeth. I never once talked to my son, my brother, or anybody for that matter about their foreign business deals. No, he was having dinner at the Cafe Milano and calling in and making conference calls when the big meetings were going on. But he did nothing. Never talked about it.
He sure was.
All right, Jim Jordan, thank you.